What's up, everybody? It's Shuree Danyell here, CEO and Executive Creative Director of 4K More Creative. We are a production and advertising agency, and we exist to create content that will help shift mindsets to a more beautiful, equitable, and inclusive world. And today, for Women's History Month, we have brought to the couch two dope young queens who are changing the world in business, in their community, and in the arts. So welcome to the couch, Shawna and Shameka. What's up, guys?
Hi.
What's up? I am so excited that my good friend Lindsay put us in touch. You know, I was putting together these interviews and I was like, I want to make sure that we have a multi-generational approach to these interviews, to these series of podcasts, because I feel like women from all walks of life can learn from each other, no matter how old you are, no matter where you come from, no matter your racial background, your ethnic background. So I'm excited to have you guys on the couch. And I am super duper impressed with you guys. Today we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, resiliency, and staying motivated. And between the both of you, I think you own like 10 businesses. So let's first off talk about who you are. Where you come from, like where you from, and then we'll talk about all the entrepreneurship stuff that you guys are doing to kill the game.
So my name is Shameka Bogard. I am a child of the Most High God, first and foremost.
Say it, period. Say it. Amen. That's important.
I am a servant. I want to serve the community, serve the youth, but also make sure that I am being purposeful here on earth, purposeful in life. So that goes through everything that I do. So I have my nonprofit. I'm a purpose coach. I also am a minister. So that's a little bit about who I am. And of course, I'll share more too.
Where are you from?
I am from Lancaster, California.
All right. So Cali girl. You've been in Cali.
Girl.
All right. I see you.
Went to college in Vegas. Came back.
Okay.
Went to USC.
Okay.
And been here since. Yeah.
What's your degree in?
My undergrad degree is in psychology, and then grad school, I did my master's in social work with an emphasis in children, youth, and family services, of course.
So, yes, y'all heard this young chick has a master's. Okay, we see you. All right.
I am Shawna Bogard. I am so excited to be here first and foremost. I am also from Lancaster, California. Yeah, SoCal girl as well. And I'm very much so right behind my sister in a lot of stuff. Trying to be a trailblazer. The Bible says what? In Isaiah 6:8, Lord, he said, who am I going to send? We said, here I am, Lord, send me. So we just out here trying to live sent, as she always says. And she going to tell me how I stole her line later, but it's okay.
Can you guys tell who are listening who is the youngest and who's the older? Yeah, Shameka is definitely the oldest and Shawna is definitely the youngest. I love how you honor your older sister, but you guys are both working together and really honoring one another, and I can't wait to get into that conversation. So let's talk about the first topic, which is entrepreneurship, right? So you guys already operating several businesses. So let's hear about, Shameka, your businesses first.
Yeah, so I started my online store called Radiant Edge in 2018. Really, I was just tired of working for people. And I was like, I can create my own products. Let me start my own business. And I kept seeing the ads. You know how you see, like, start a drop shipping business. So I was like, oh, let's try. And I liked creating journals and mugs and stuff. So I started it. And I was like, I don't want to clock in. I don't want a boss. Like, I can make my own money, right? I'm self-motivated. And it's not like that when you first start out. You know, you need the money for the products. You need to figure out shipping and all of the back end stuff. And it was really difficult. And I actually was going to close that business. And I had a dream and God was like, no, you're not. So I didn't close that one. And then in 2019, I was in grad school. I was doing my social work practicum hours in a charter high school. And I was also working in a group home. And I kept praying. I'm like, I didn't get my bachelor's degree to just be mopping floors and helping these kids. And I kept praying. I'm like, what is my purpose? What am I here for? Why am I doing this? And one day God gave me a dream about helping kids in the community. And the whole dream was pretty much about starting a nonprofit. And I woke up and I was like, am I supposed to start a nonprofit? Like, what about my store? I'm in grad school. I want to be a counselor. And pretty much, I went to one of my mentors and I told her, I have a whole team of mentors. I was like, I think God wants me to start a nonprofit, and I do not want to be in California.
Oh,
I was like, I want to move to Georgia. I wanted to go. I was trying to leave. I was like, it's dry out here. And sure enough, she was like, if you're supposed to start it, just start it, and maybe one day you'll leave. Like, God will he'll move you. So start it. Start what God told you, and then maybe the plans will change down the line. So my dad ended up passing away a couple of months after I had that dream. So I put the nonprofit stuff on hold. And then in 2020, I actually incorporated my nonprofit. So that was my second business. And then a year after that, I actually incorporated my nonprofit on my own. And everybody's like, can you help me? How do you do it? So I didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't want to help them, but I told you I like to serve people.
Sure.
So I prayed about it. And God, like, specifically was like, help the people that I send to you. So then I started consulting and coaching people and really helping the new founders to get started, doing their bylaws and their articles of incorporation and all of that stuff. So only 3 businesses: my store, my nonprofit, and then coaching.
Only 3 only 3 businesses. Only 3 businesses. Okay. So Shawna, tell us about what you do, and I know you have a business as well. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I have my ministry, which is called Seen by the King Ministry, and our mission is to stop the dehumanization of God's creation. I think one thing that I am so adamant on is if I don't know where I'm going or I don't know what I'm going to do, I know I love God and I love people. And I think far too often we see people who are less than and that don't have and be like, ew. But it's like, no, God loves them, so why can't we? So when I started that, it started as a homeless outreach, going out there, bringing the meals, going into their homes, having conversations, and just giving them someone to talk to, and especially doing it so young. Like, the people that I would take out there would also be other young adults, ranging from like 16 to 25, 28, making sure that like this next generation does care. We do see you, because I think far too often we count the next generation out, and it's like, nah, we about to take over the world. Y'all just don't see it yet. So I do my ministry, and then I began resiliency coaching and stuff a little bit like a year and a half later, when I was figuring out what I wanted to do and how I was going to navigate Seen by the King. And I think Shameka kind of hit on it. We lost our dad, and we lost our mom as well. So in that, she didn't hit on that, but it's like we've had to go through a lot to even be here, to sit here on this yellow couch and have this conversation. So I think in that, resiliency is so important, and we don't understand, like, there's that little bit of area that's like, if you can just pass this, if you can just keep going, if you can just find something to keep going. So resiliency coaching, which has been great. I mean, I love talking to people and seeing people activated. That's the word we're going to use, activated. And then, I work as the performing arts director for my sister. Love the arts, all things art. My degree is in arts. And then I work in the entertainment industry as a productions assistant. So getting to do like the Grammy Awards, the American Music Awards, the Kids' Choice Awards. I've done some reality TV shows. And then my goal as a little kid was always to be an actress. So I did my first show as an actress in 2021. But yes, a lot of back history there.
So dope.
Well, I'm excited. I think that this conversation is important, because I do think at times the older generation can discount, right, or not see how dope the leaders are that are coming up, right? You guys are definitely incredible. Now, I did ask if I could ask your age, and I wanted to only ask for context because I think it's inspirational, and you both agreed. So how old are you?
I am 28.
28?
Yes.
All right. Already got your master's. Let's go.
I am 26.
Awesome. 26. And you have a bachelor's in?
I have an associate's, and then I have 2 certificates in performing arts.
Okay. All right then. Excellent.
And arts and humanity.
So educated, service-driven, youth-focused. So I'm curious about, how did you guys get passionate about youth? Because that seems to be a huge thing that I keep hearing from you both. It's like this next generation, youth, the youth.
Yeah, so I can start. I have always been drawn to people that were the outcasts or that were a little different. I remember being in middle school and naturally gravitating to the kids that were in the foster care system or were on probation, and also in high school, I had a friend who was in a group home. And I remember asking him, I'm like, so do you have a mom? Do you have a dad? Like, well, who's there? And he's like, well, there's staff. I'm like, okay, so are the staff there all day? Or like, how does that go? And I asked him so many questions. He's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I'm going to work in a group home. He's like, what do you mean? And sure enough, I did. That was the last job I did, working in a group home. My heart has always been called and drawn to people that were left out, that were forgotten about, that were oppressed, like the kids that really need the love. Yeah. They're the ones. And then, of course, kids are the future. If we are not investing in our kids, what's the future going to look like? And it's like everybody needs somebody. On my website, of course, it says by, I want to say Josh Ship. I want to say Josh Ship. Sorry. Every child is one caring adult away from being a success story. That means it just takes one adult to be like, you could do it. I see you. Go ahead. I got you. I'm here at your game. I'm supporting you. That means so much to a child, just giving them that hope, that inspiration, that motivation. We all need a support system. So how much more does our kids need? Yeah. I've always had a passion for kids.
What about you, Shawna?
I love that. I'm going to add to that. I love kids. Like, if you are younger than 14, granted, I love them over 14 too. If you're a transitional age youth, I love you. But I think that under 14 is just such, like, there's still so much curiosity and so much innocence and so much purity, and it's like life hasn't happened yet. Life hasn't been like, here, let's drag you through the mud. So there's still that innocence about them, and I think I'm really drawn to that. And I think, like, I grew up Christian. I can quote the Bible all day, but one thing in the Bible it says that come to me with childlike faith. That doesn't say that by mistake. What kids have just such a beauty about them, and I'm like, it's like being at home when you're with kids, and kids are honest. They'll hurt your feelings in a heartbeat and be like, well, like, it's okay. So for me, kids have always been such a special place in my heart. Even working in church, doing like the Faith Factory and all the kids ministry, because we get to see them develop. And one of the nonprofits that we partner with, their thing is action, and it's easier to raise a good kid than to fix a broken adult. And I'm like, yeah, it's facts. Like, if you would just raise the child and like give them that community and let them know, like, hey, we're here, it's a whole different ballgame than trying to fix that adult that's like still hurting.
It seems like you guys have tapped into something that is a fundamental need for all humans, and that is to be seen, to be known, and to be loved. And you both mentioned that you lost your mother and your father. And, parents can be a great source of those elements. For you, when you were children, did you feel seen, known, and loved? How are you feeling now with that void in your lives?
I'm sure you're trying to get us to cry on this yellow couch today.
I mean, you said you like to be real, so let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about loss. Yeah. So, as a child, I would say I did feel seen, loved, all of that. But I also was different. I've always been very, like, I guess, entrepreneurial spirited. I always did my own thing. Always wanted to take care of my baby dolls and my toys. So I was always like doing my own thing. But I definitely felt loved, seen by my parents. I really admire my parents. My dad was also an entrepreneur. And he made sure to come to California. He was from Chicago. Come to California to make a better life for all of us. And you can tell in everything he did. He wanted to live with integrity, with character. He was a man of faith, and he was such a hard worker. I really admire my dad. So now, like, it is a void. Like, when somebody dies, you don't just, like, get over it. You just kind of, like, your life adjusts around it. You like, learn how to do things with them in mind, but knowing that they're not physically here. So, yeah, I keep my faith in God. I help the community. I love the kids, and I live on purpose because I know, like, tomorrow's not promised, right?
I feel like a lot of young people, they live like they're going to be here for forever, right? Oh, I'm going to be 150. How do you know that? So when you have parents that are just gone and you're not prepared for that, because we weren't prepared for our mom to die, we were not prepared for our dad. Both of them were like a shock, like out of nowhere. So when you experience that, you start to live a little differently. Like, oh no, I'm going to do what I need to do here because tomorrow could not be here. Yeah. You know? So, yeah. I'll pass it to you.
Ooh, that's deep. This all just deep. We just deep. We're just in it now. So for me, growing up a little bit, we're the youngest of 7. Okay. There's a lot of us. So me being the youngest, and then she's the next youngest, growing up, I had epilepsy. Okay. And it skipped children, and then I was the last one to have it. And our oldest sister passed away from a grandma's seizure. So always growing up, people were always a little bit more concerned about me and stuff. So I shared a room with Shameka until I was literally like 18, you know. So of course I was known, I was seen, I was loved. Everyone was in my business all the time. Doctor's appointments, all of that stuff. And I grew out of it, thank God. But yeah, I was definitely like, I shouldn't say this, I was like the prize child. Like I was the last one. Very spoiled, but I think that was because everyone's heart was already like we got to be with Shawna all the time. So definitely, known, seen, and loved growing up. And Shameka hit on our parents. I lost my mom at 15 years old, going into 16, which was really weird. It was a really hard transition, to say the least. I was young, you know, and I think there was this void only because it was like she saw all of my other sisters graduate. She saw all of my other siblings go to prom. She saw all of my other siblings, they, and not realizing that there was a lack. But I think you hit on it early on. There's such an honor that I have for Shameka, but it's because she was there every step of the way. And we have other siblings, but Shameka is by far my best friend. You know, like I couldn't afford a yearbook. She sent me money from working in college to buy my yearbook. I couldn't afford a prom dress. She'll be like, here, I'm working here. Go get a prom dress. You know, there was never a lack in family, because I had Shameka to be like, wow, you're filling big shoes that you didn't even know you had to fill, you know? And then my dad, I kind of mentioned I was on a world tour in 2019, and I was in Switzerland. And let me tell you, it was the most beautiful place in the world. Wow, okay. Like the Swiss Alps. I was like, wow, God, like this is your creation. And I got a call from Shameka, and she was like, hey, are you sitting down? You might want to sit down. And she had let me know that my dad passed away. But the week before I was in Switzerland, I was in Germany. And I told my dad, like, I'll just come home. He's like, no, girl, finish what you started. Like, you're going to finish this. You're going to do this with integrity and all this. I'm fine. Wow. And then the next week to get that call and be like, what? We're doing this? Okay, I guess we're doing this. But in the process of that, because I could talk about death all day because I've seen so much of it so young.
I was going to say, even the way you just told me about your dad passing, it was like almost, it seemed like the sadness wasn't overtaking you. It was like an acceptance. Yeah. Where does that come from?
So it's more death. In 2018, my second mom, so my best friend's mom, loved her. She was sent at such a pivotal time. She came into my life a year and a half before my mom died, and she felt that so well. And then she passed away in 2018 from cancer. By far the hardest death I ever had to deal with, slowly seeing someone die over the years, you know, so it made anything else almost acceptable. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like I would never ever wish it on anyone to see someone slowly die. So when my dad passed away, it was like, okay, I know how to deal with this. Okay, I know how to navigate this. Okay, what are we going to do? Okay, God, I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is your fault, because it's not. You literally had me in Switzerland, in the most beautiful place, to still look back at that time and be like, yeah, I got a call that my dad passed away in the most beautiful place in the whole world. Like, it was always a little cushion to each blow.
Now, when we talk about resiliency, because you clearly have gone through some losses, some major heartbreaks, but you both are still standing. Both are still running nonprofits, running businesses, still have smiles on your face. What keeps you motivated to keep going, even through the loss, even through the disappointments, even through the darkness? What keeps you motivated?
Yeah, so I get that question a lot, which is why I created like an ebook, and then I turned into like a small physical book on how to stay motivated. Because people ask all the time, well, how did you finish your degree? Because when my mom passed away at 18, I was going to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And after her service, I literally went back to school the next day. And I was like, she would not want me to quit, right? I'm like, no, she would want me to keep going. So them and the thought that they would be proud of me, that they would want me to not give up, to not be sad, to not be depressed all the time, that keeps me motivated. And I also put in my book, like, know your why. Create huge goals. What do you want in life? Do you know you can have whatever you want? Because you can. You know, are you willing to put in the work? Because if you have faith, and if you have goals, and you have action, you're most likely going to accomplish what you want. Whether it takes a year or 2 years or however long, you're going to get to that result. And it's only because you stay consistent, right? So knowing your why, creating huge goals, keeping your faith in God, keeping your faith in yourself, and knowing that people are watching you, that you can impact a whole generation, you can impact the world. That's what keeps me motivated. And I told you I have a lot of mentors. I listen to a lot of motivational speeches. I love Les Brown. I love Eric Thomas. Like, I love all of them.
Shout
and
out.
of course, like I said, I'm a minister, so I'm always in my Bible. Like, okay, God, I need help with this. Okay, God, I need help with that. What are you saying about this? How do I get around this? You know, what did the people in the Bible go through? If you would use them, you'll use me, right? If he would part the water, he can do it now, right? So I take the Bible literally, and all of those things make up my motivation. That's how I stay motivated.
Okay. So, Shameka, you shared what makes you stay motivated. Now, Shawna, what makes you stay motivated?
I have a sister like Shameka.
Yeah.
Who has told me for years that I can have whatever I want if I work hard, and I can take over the world. And then I'm crazy enough to believe it.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm going to take over the world, and there's someone healing waiting for me. There's someone's story that I need to impact. There's a place that I need to be to change someone's life, you know, and to know that it's not, I am just a small part of the plan, but there is a huge plan that is at work. And I think over the years, I was just like, Shameka, like, be quiet. Like, that's not true. And now I'm like, I'm a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to take over the world, and it's going to be for the kingdom, and y'all going to be mad. Like, watch me go. You know, I think it was that crazy seed that was planted that is like, no, like, there is someone's story. Someone needs healing, and they're waiting on me to get in position, to be used, to talk, to speak. Because when you tell your struggles, when you tell your story, it allows other people to start healing. And it allows other people to be like, wow, I relate. What? You had to go through all that? Like, I can't imagine. And now I'm over here like, yeah, come at me. Like, I got it. But it does come from that small thought of being like, I can change the world. Like, I am somebody. You know, one spark can start a flame.
Yes.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
Like, our dad would always be like, I'm going to be a millionaire. He would always say that, didn't he?
Yeah.
So my dad was very, like, inspirational, but also a go-getter, very determined, believed that God would do anything for him. So he started it. You know what I mean? He had us praying all the time, and like, oh, you can be rich, you can have what you want. So he started that.
All right. So mindset is what I'm hearing is a big deal. What is spoken over you and what you speak over yourself is important. Now, I'm curious, when you define resiliency, and in your work you coach, you know, you do resiliency coaching. What is the definition of resilient to you?
Beautiful. You did say to me, can I get my book? Can I reference my book?
Let's do it.
To me.
Get your book, girl.
Get your book.
let me tell ya.
Okay.
Because it's right here on the first page.
Okay.
Resiliency is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, traumas, tragedy, threats, and significant sources of threat. So when you lose a lot, when you've lost a lot, when you've been through a lot, resiliency is what's your outcome? How are you going to choose to come out on the other end? How are you going to choose to get through this? Because most people don't understand that when life is stressful, because there's nobody that is just like, oh, life is easy. It is what it is. It's like, no, now it's your job to figure out how you navigate. And one part of the book that I wrote, I think I had to, in order to realize I was resilient, I had to do my own book. I had to do my own work to be like, oh my gosh, there's things about me that I didn't realize. Or there's like, section 2 of the book talks about traction, action, and distraction, right?
Come on.
So what you do, your action that you take is going to push you towards traction. It's going to push you towards your goals and where you need to be, or it's going to distract you. It's going to take you away from what you want. It's going to take you away from your goals. And having to realize, like, there's a lot in me that's like, my actions say that Shawna scrolling through TikTok all day is not good. You know? My actions say that you're not going to get to where you need to be based off of what you're doing. You're not going to be in position to be successful with the actions that you take, and having to, like, every person in the book, it talks about it too. Every person has over 6,000 thoughts in one day.
Wow.
You know, just, oh, what am I going to eat? What am I going to do? You know? And then realizing that we don't take captive any of those thoughts. Most of the time, we're just like, okay, I thought about that. So at one page, it says, write down every thought you had. And I wrote down 30 thoughts that I had throughout the day. I became so self-aware. Like, I would be sitting there and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to eat. And then someone would say something, that person just got on my nerves. And I'm like, you think crazy throughout the day. Like, you got to focus on that. You got to change that. Because resiliency, mental, it starts in the mind. It starts in the earliness of what you're going to do. When you wake up, what do you think? What are you eating? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you planting in those moments to make it the best day, the best life, the best opportunity?
So I'm going to act as an older sister right now. So I love all the zeal. I love all the energy. You're killing it. You've spoke a lot about who you want to be for others. But as I've gotten older, I've realized in my pursuit of wanting to be for others that I lost being for myself. And so I've had to course correct several times in my life. And now I'm realizing that the first thing I have to take care of is me.
Yes.
And so what I want to ask you both is, I've heard what you want for others, and I've heard a little bit about what you're doing for yourselves, but what do you want? What do you want for yourself? Shameka, what do you want for yourself?
See, I told you, you're trying to bring out all the ugly crying today.
But why are we crying over what we want? For real.
Yeah,
like,
so,
why does that evoke emotion when I ask that?
I'm just emotional. I'm always emotional.
Okay.
That's why I got my degree in psychology, so I could be emotional with my clients and be counseling people, you know. So, you know, the young Shameka would be so proud of the Shameka I am now. Like, I always wanted to be set apart. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be a role model. I wanted to inspire people, motivate people, empower people, and I'm doing just that. Like, that's what I wanted to be. I also strive to love myself. Like, I love myself. I do. That's my goal, to always love myself, to think I'm super dope, to be confident, and to really not care what people think about me. Like, God had to tell me this year, like, you have to let go people's opinions of you. Because it doesn't matter. They don't pay my bills. Even if you did, I still don't need to care about your opinion. I'm my best self when I love myself, when I'm proud of myself. And I literally try to walk in that every single day. Like, who are you? Are you doing an action that you don't like? Do you know you can stop doing that? Do you know that if let's say I'm not working out, do you know that you can change your body and you can work out? You know, I have a whole vision wall. I don't even do vision boards. Like, I have a whole vision wall, and I put what I want myself to look like. I put what I want to act like. I put what I want to achieve in my businesses. And I always try to stay true to myself, stay true to my purpose. And yeah, I think I'm dope. And I try to be the person I want to be, and be the person that is a good example for girls. But that first comes from being true to myself.
Yeah. So what I hear is that you're living with intention, right? Like, you have crafted who you want to be, and it's not just, you're not just accepting who you are, like you're recognizing there's things that need to change, there's things that could be better. There are goals you have and how you want to show up in the world, and you're living on purpose, and then that's when you can be proud of yourself, because you're like, and I just did that. Yes, I did that. You know, you set the goal and you did it. Now, Shawna, how about you? Like, what do you want, girl?
Well, right now I want a vacation, but that's nor here nor there. I'm actually the complete opposite of Shameka.
Okay.
No vision walls, no vision boards. I said that I just wanted to have fun for 2023.
Okay.
The last 6 months have been hell and high water. Ooh, I don't know if I can say that.
You can say hell.
Okay. The last 6 months have been hell, and I've just been like, in that, I've been trying to strive to have fun. Mm-hmm. Like, that's been my goal. I just want to have fun. I just want to go work on a cruise ship. I applied for every cruise line, and they declined my application. I'm like, I am overqualified.
Yes,
what are you talking about? Like,
you don't work the Grammys, don't work the Kids' Choice Awards. You can't work on a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally, every opportunity, every door that I wanted to go through, it was glued shut. And I was like, you know what? I don't even know what to say at this rate. Mm-hmm. So the goal, because I've never struggled with the things I struggled with in the last 6 months.
Okay.
Anxiety, depression, mental health issues. Never. And I'm like, I've lost so much. What is this? Like, I just wanted me back, you know, like, I wanted Shawna back. I wanted the light, the laugh, the jokes. Like, I think there was a part of me that was missing in the pruning. And I think to even say, like, now I can say, yeah, I'm the best version of myself. Like, I am in a really good place. I don't even know what to say. Like, Shawna, what do you want for yourself? It's like, I'm the best version of me right now. Besides a nice vacation for my birthday in 2 weeks, I don't know, you know, because I think I've become very much so like, what does it mean to become content with yourself?
Okay.
And like, what does it look like for me to live out my dreams that I want? And I tell people all the time, like, social media and Shawna and normal Shawna, they used to be hand in hand. They used to be the best of the best. Now I feel like they're separated because everyone sees the glorified wins on social media. Right. You know, and that goes for everyone. But it's like, no, I'm really at a good place. And I'm like, I can't say, like, I want this for me, because it's like, I'm good where I am. Like, life is genuinely good. And Shameka borrowed my line, so I'm going to say it. But I'm baby Shawna's wildest dreams. And I can't forget that I prayed to be in the position that I am in. Like, even growing up and watching the Kids' Choice Awards and being like, I want to touch the slime. And then being like, hey, here you are, 6 years later, or 20 years later. Do you want to be a part of the Kids' Choice Awards? Yeah, and you know what my goal was? I'm going to touch the slime. Yep, I was like, ooh, and it was the best hand moisturizer ever. But that's nor here nor there.
All right, there's another business opportunity for you. Forget cocoa butter, just use slime.
Yeah, I was like, they should sell it in stores. It was the most, I was like, whoa, these are dreamy.
Oh my God.
That is awesome. So I've been asking every woman that comes to the couch, most women, what does it mean to you to become woman? Ooh. When do you become woman?
When do you become woman? So I think of all the characteristics of amazing, I'm going to say black women, and their ability to accept the femininity, our strength, our beauty, even our ability to submit when needed, or to be the leader when needed. I believe that you become a woman when you define what it is for you, you embrace it, you walk in it, and you embody the characteristics of what holds being a woman to you. Not necessarily age, like some people are doing a lot at 18, you know what I mean? Some people are doing a lot at 40. I believe when you define it for yourself and you're able to walk in that confidently and to exude what that is for you from the inside out. So.
Okay.
That's deep. My initial answer is I'm not sure, because I'm a big kid at heart, and I love Dave & Buster's and Chuck E. Cheese like the rest of everyone. Like, that is just who I am. But I also think, like, the heartfelt answer is when healing starts. You become woman, because we get stuck at the age of our trauma.
Oof.
So if you are 30 years old and you still have trauma, that inner kid is still there. So when you can start that healing process to be better, to get help, to get that team of people to support the journey, to say, hey, I want to become this amazing woman. I want to become all that I can become. That starts with healing.
I think the inner child is always with us. Like, little Shuree is still alive and well. But what has happened is there's been a separation in the sense of, like, I recognize I'm not the traumatized little girl who's trying to act like I'm a grown woman. I'm a grown woman who understands that little Shuree went through trauma. But now I'm, like you said, you know, I'm bringing little Shuree along, and I'm her, you know, her biggest advocate or her cheerleader. And in some ways, I'm her mother. I've taken on the role to understand that no matter what has happened to me in my background, no matter how my mother or father have been there or not for me, that I can be there for myself, and I can show up, and that, you know, God has definitely shown up for me a lot, but I think he's also shown me, like, Shuree, like, I can empower you to, you know, the word manifest, everybody loves it, but for real, manifest the things that you really want, because I've put those desires in your heart, right? And so I'm going to take you on a journey to take those steps to get to where you're trying to go. When that shift happened in my mind, my definition of becoming woman is when you realize that life isn't happening to you, but you are happening to life. And when I hear you guys speak, I hear two young women talking about how they are happening to life. And I think that authority is huge. I think hearing it out of your mouths in your 20s and everything you've already accomplished just shows, because it's not just you've accomplished and haven't been through some stuff. You guys have been through some stuff, right? You've had to practice resiliency. You've had to practice motivation. You've had to pick yourself back up, graduate, pick yourself back up through the depression, and continue to move towards the women you see yourself as now and becoming. And I think that is beautiful, and I think there's a model that needs to be seen more with this, and on social media, you know, we don't really talk about the process of how you get to be on the Kids Choice Award, how you get to be on the Grammys, how you get to have your master's degree, how you get to have all the businesses and nonprofits. But it sounds like you guys are super intentional. I know one of the things you wanted to talk about is how you're living on purpose, and I think it's evident already in the conversation. This is how you're showing up. You're making goals. You're sticking together. You're building community, right? And I think that that's super inspirational. If you had one thing to say to those that are listening and watching to encourage young women who are watching this on how to stay motivated, on how to live in that resilient spirit to reach your goals, what would you say?
So you brought up trauma, right? And people having to get through that. I want people to know that you don't have to stay in that stuck place, that you can heal. There are people out there to support you, to help you, to encourage you. You can have anything, you can do anything, you can be anybody, as long as you believe that, and then you take the steps to get to that person that's on the other side. Hope, faith in yourself, in God, and getting the right resources that you need, and being around the right people like you, and you can be successful.
I love it.
Ooh, that's deep too. Everything's just deep. For me, it would be to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help. It is okay to get support. It is okay to not want to do it today. You know, it is okay to say, today I lost, but tomorrow I'm going to win again. I think when you have the people, because I don't like asking for help. I do not like asking for help ever. You know, it's like, I have to ask for help. I need to tell someone like, hey, Shameka, I'm struggling today. Hey, I'm 2 seconds from an anxiety attack. But there's healing in community.
Yes.
So get in community and find the right people that can help you on this journey. Because you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to go head on by yourself and be like, I'm going to be this by myself. Get help. Get a team. Shameka says it a lot. If you want to go far, go alone. No. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team. Because a team will get you there. And there's no I in team.
I love that. And this is coming from your therapist, your licensed therapist. Is that correct?
I am an MSW, so I did not get licensed.
Not yet?
I'm not going to.
Okay, tell us why.
I don't want to practice therapy at the moment. I mean, who knows in like 10 years or maybe 15 years. I love what I'm doing. I love leading my nonprofit. I love having the option to do direct services or to be the grant writer or to, be in the background and do all the admin. I love that. I love popping in with the kids when I want to and then not. I don't necessarily want to do thousands of hours in therapy. I don't necessarily want to take more classes at the moment, maybe in the future.
And that's okay, because there's permission for you to pivot. And I think that's another thing. Again, becoming a woman is recognizing I was going in this direction. Now I have this information, and I'm going to go in this direction. And that, again, is I'm happening to life. Life is not happening to me. Just because you got this degree doesn't mean you have to keep moving in this direction, right? That you're finding a way for it to work for you. You're like, I like this, and I'm going to take that, and this. I think that's, but you definitely still value mental health. And I think that's an important conversation even in this, is that mental health matters. Help matters, therapy matters, and that, for you to get to where you're trying to go, and this is what I'm hearing in your words, is that your mental health, your thoughts, and what you believe about yourself and what you can do matters to how far you're going to be able to get yourself. Because ain't nobody going to pick you up and carry you to the goal. You're going to have to pick up one foot at a time to get yourself there, and I see you guys doing that. So thank you guys so much for inspiring us and helping us just to have a glimpse into your lives. And we are going to be praying for you. We're going to be rooting for you. If people want to connect with you, because they're going to want to, where do they go?
So my Instagram is at Shameka_Chantel. Please follow me. My website, if you guys want it, shamekabogard.com. And all the good stuff is on there. My nonprofit is linked to that. My online store is linked to that. So please check out my website and Instagram.
Period. And follow me on Instagram at blissful_Shawna. Everything else is in my bio. DM me, hit me up. We could be best friends.
Yay! And we'll use slime moisturizer together.
Yes, all of it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.